Lucky Luciano started as an ordinary mob figure and rose to become a mafia boss. He ran liquor smuggling, vice operations, bookmaking, loan operations, illicit trade, unions, Manhattan's docks, construction, trucking, waste removal, and the garment industry. He founded the Mafia Commission, earning the title Boss of All Bosses. But before reaching the top, he survived a life-threatening attack. 3 men abducted him, took him to an abandoned building, severely beat him, then drove him to a deserted beach, injured his neck, and left. A passerby walking his dog found him, and medics were shocked he was still alive. He later earned the nickname Lucky. Albert Anastasia. Starting as a regular mob figure, Anastasia rose to become a major organized crime leader. Even among such circles, he was known for being extremely feared. He controlled much of New York's waterfront, mainly through dock workers' unions. But many bosses from other families disliked him. He gambled heavily on horse racing, sold positions in his organization for $50,000, a major taboo, and his notorious reputation drew too much attention. On October 25, 1957, Anastasia stepped out of his car and entered a barbershop. His bodyguard went to park the car in the garage. While Anastasia waited in the chair, 2 masked men entered and opened fire until he collapsed, then left. Bugs Moran, 1929. Al Capone controlled a large part of Chicago, but the other half was under Bugs Moran's influence. So Capone planned to remove Moran from power in order to control all of Chicago. On February 14th, part of Capone's crew dressed as police officers and even obtained a police car. They drove to Moran's headquarters pretending to be law enforcement. Inside, Moran's men didn't resist, thinking it was an official inspection. They were positioned against a wall, expecting an arrest, until the incident began. Moran himself was late to the meeting, saw the police car outside, and left. None of the assailants were ever caught. Arnold Rothstein. A famous New York underworld figure, Rothstein controlled gambling dens, illicit trade, and bootlegging. In October 1928, he lost a massive sum in a poker game, but refused to pay. On November 4th, he was invited to the Park Central Hotel to discuss his $320,000 debt. Rothstein claimed his opponent cheated, refused to pay, and was struck in the chest. Lying in the hospital, a police officer asked who was responsible. Rothstein replied, "You stick to your own job," and never named anyone. The case was never solved. Al Capone. Capone controlled a large portion of Chicago's bootlegging business, but his rival Bugs Moran planned to remove him. In 1926, Capone was dining at his favorite restaurant when 2 cars pulled up outside. Automatic weapons appeared from the windows, spraying the place with bullets. Capone spotted the weapons in time, flipped over a heavy oak table, and used it as cover. Hundreds of rounds tore through the restaurant, but none penetrated the table. After emptying their magazines, the assailants sped off. Capone escaped without injury, though badly shaken. Frank Costello. One of the most influential crime leaders in U.S. history, Costello ran bootlegging, gambling, and bookmaking operations. Unlike many others, he also ran legitimate businesses and had a taste for fine clothes. He was often called in to mediate disputes between families. One night in May 1957, while returning to his Manhattan apartment, an attacker targeted him and fired a single round. Just before pulling the trigger, the man said, "This is for you, Frank." Costello turned toward the voice, saving his life as the shot only grazed him. The attacker, Vincent Gigante, thought he had ended the matter and left. Costello never told the police he recognized the voice. Joe Colombo. After high school, Colombo served in the Coast Guard until being discharged for nervous problems. He spent 10 years as a longshoreman, 6 years as a butcher shop salesman, and even briefly worked in real estate. In April 1970, he founded the Italian-American Civil Rights League. He organized rallies, which angered other mob bosses who believed mafia business should stay in the shadows. At one rally, while Colombo was speaking on stage, a man with a camera approached. Security let him through, thinking he was a reporter, but he pulled a handgun and opened fire at Colombo. Security returned fire and incapacitated the man. Colombo survived but was completely paralyzed and unable to speak. He passed away 7 years later.